Hey, what's going on, Solarpreneurs? Taylor Armstrong here. Today, we're going to be discussing should you do online leads? And if you do decide to do online leads, what are the questions you should be asking? Very important. You're going to hear it all today. Welcome to the podcast, or welcome back if you are a longtime listener. We're here to help you generate more leads and referrals and hopefully have a much better time in the solar industry. Hey, we're coming on, I think, 370 episodes or so it has been a journey. Thank you for being a part of it. And want to start this episode off with apologizing because apparently we had a technical error, I think a week and a half back. We did a little Taylor McCarthy solar breakdown, and I guess we published the same episode twice in a row. It was supposed to have two parts to it. So I apologize if you were expecting something different. We're going to republish the correct episode on that one. And thank you to someone who reached out. And the funny thing was, it took like almost 2 weeks, I think, for someone to reach out and say, "Hey, Taylor, this is the same episode that's playing." So thank you for reaching out. And if you hear mistakes like that, please hit me up. Hey, this is not a perfect podcast. This is something that I do as, a side thing, right? I'm out here selling full time. And so I'm not constantly reviewing every episode. We have a small team here. We make mistakes. So thank you for understanding. Hey, we are human over here. I know it sounds like I'm the greatest superhuman solar guy in the world, but hey, I make mistakes too. We all make them. But anyways, that being said, we're going to jump into the episode. Hopefully not as many mistakes here today. And just wanted to thank a recent review we had. This was from, looks like he put his name. It's from Ken. But he gave us 5 stars. He says, "Hats off to Taylor for a great podcast. This has become a staple for my week's listening and is filled with great nuggets for all solar cells reps, no matter the skill level or tenure. I appreciate all you do for us out here in the field." Thank you so much, Ken. You rock. And appreciate everyone that has left a review. The podcast would not have continued without people's reviews, without people reaching out, leaving messages. So appreciate the support. And all we can ask is that you continue to do that. Okay, I'll be honest, the numbers have been down a little bit lately, and probably part of it is because, some mistakes, publishing the same episode twice. Yeah, I get it. I wouldn't listen to that episode either. But sometimes it gets frustrating where I'm like, I was having a ton of people listen. This week, it's not so much. Okay, and I know some episodes aren't as good as others. But really, what keeps us going is people sharing it, people reaching out, saying it's helped them. And more than anything, that's what I do to give back. And that's what helps keep this flame going, is messages like that. So thank you so much. Okay, well, let's get to the topic. So today we're going to be talking about the online leads. Okay, and we're going to have someone that's a pro on this for the next episode. Tune in. His name's Garrett Mendelson. This guy, he is doing some pretty incredible things in the online lead gen space, and is, making $1 million a year. Is had multiple months where he's sold over 30, a lot of them completely over the phone, online. Okay, so you're not going to miss out on what he says about the online leads and about getting into it. But just thought I would give my take on a few things if that is something you are exploring, something you've thought about, or just want to know more about online leads. Okay. And disclaimer, I have not done online leads myself for probably about a year. Been strictly door knocking since, I don't know, maybe end of 2021, something like that, maybe a year and a half. Hey, and I don't hate them. I've had success doing online leads, but the reason I stopped, my story with online leads, is it just got tough when I'm running a door-to-door team, right? I was having people set leads in one part of town. All of a sudden, I would get an online lead that was 45 minutes to the north. So I'd drive clear up there. Sometimes they'd be super solid. Sometimes they'd just be okay. And I found myself having to give away door-to-door appointments at times to go to these online leads. And it was just hit and miss. I had months where I killed it. I had months where not so much. Okay. And so I don't claim to be the expert on solar online lead gen. That's why I bring in guests like Garrett. But I have had experience with it. And I would just say if you're going to do it, make sure you know how to close first. Okay. I would not get an online leads just starting out in solar. I would build a basis of knocking doors. I would make sure you have a solid close first, because these people, they can be hard to close. And I would argue that a lot of times they're tougher to close because sometimes they're getting multiple quotes online. Sometimes the trust isn't there quite as much. Okay, but they can be highly qualified too. Okay, so that's my story on it. That's my experience. And also just depends on your goals. Are you trying to build this setter closer model where you are working a team door to door? So the thing is, with these leads, you can target a specific area, but the smaller area you target, the less leads you're going to get. So that's why for me, I was targeting all of San Diego here. And that's a wide area, right? It covers a lot of different areas. So it could be an hour drive from one lead to another if you're doing that. But that's how you're going to get the most leads from it. All right. And so that was my experience. If you are thinking of hiring a lead gen company, okay, the three that I have interviewed on the show that I have experience with, I'll give them a little shout out here. Prospect Bacon, that's Josiah Atkins, great guy. Okay, you got Solar Exclusive, which is a great one. You got Solar Funnels, it's another one I've used. Ben Claybrook. Um, all these are great companies. These are, well, the first two, they're the biggest ones. Most people have heard of Prospect Bacon and Solar Exclusive, right? And they have a good reputation. I definitely recommend them. Okay, but if you are going to use different lead gen company, maybe you've got a buddy that hit you up that started doing online leads. Maybe you're getting hit up by marketers, which I do all the time. Okay, and careful, a lot of these guys are scammers, don't know what they're doing. I've had a lot of people have not so great experiences with with random companies that hit them up. So be careful. Hey, but I'm going to go through some questions that some of these I did not think to ask. Some of them I've heard from other people you should be asking. Some of them just came from my own research. Okay, so here's some questions you should be asking if you are thinking of hiring a lead gen company. Okay. The first one is cost. Okay, obviously we all want to know how much. Okay, and you're going to get a varying amount on these, but cheaper is not always better with these guys. Trust me. You probably don't want to go with the cheap route because they're going to be crap leads. Okay, but ask the company you're thinking of hiring, what's the cost? What's the required ad spend? Some of these companies, I think the bigger ones, typically they don't want to work with one guy. Okay, they want to have an ad spend that's worth it because they've got entire teams. They're spending a lot of time setting all this stuff up. So a lot of these companies, they have a minimum ad spend. I think when I was doing it, I was spending like $2,000 a month. Okay, and I was usually getting 2 to 4 closes a month from it. Okay, but yeah, figure out how much you're going to spend in ads. And then the second question, is there a guarantee for how many leads I will get? No lead gen company is going to guarantee that you close deals because that's out of their hands, right? They don't know if you're sending guys that don't know how to close. They don't know what you're doing, but what they can and should guarantee is a minimum amount of leads. If you're spending 10 grand a month, you're only getting 2 leads from them. You got to figure something out. That's not going to cut it. So what's the guarantee for the amount of leads they can get you? Okay, what type of guarantee will they give you? Okay, when they're doing the lead gen, another question is what info will I be getting for the leads? Okay, there's different, some of these people, they will get leads on Facebook, for example. And some of these leads, it's just name and phone number, and that's it. And then half the time you call in, the phone's disconnected. It's not even a solid lead. Okay, so figure out what is the information you're actually collecting. Ideally, you want name, phone number, email, address, estimated credit score. blood type, social security number. Just kidding. That would be nice. Okay, but really, the more information you can get, typically the more solid the lead is going to be. Okay, and a good strategy for those listening is if you do get the address, sometimes these people aren't going to answer the phone no matter what, but if you show up at an address, you can actually convert some of these. I've worked with lead gen companies where I got the address. I would not get a hold of them on the phone, but if it wasn't like crazy far or whatever, I would actually show up to the addresses and they convert better because it's like knocking a warm lead, like knocking the door and you know they're already semi interested, right? So good thing if you can get the address for sure. Okay, another question is, do you offer to set the appointments? If you are busy, if you're doing door to door, if you're running appointments, maybe you have a team of setters. A lot of times you may not have time to call into these leads. And when it comes to online lead gen, speed is the name of the game. If you're not calling these people right off the bat within a couple minutes, then you're going to lose some of these leads, right? People forget what they filled in. They're most likely by their phone when they fill out these forms online. So you want to be doing it quick. But that presents the problem if you are knocking doors, if you're running other appointments, you might not be able to call super quick. Okay, so a good question to ask is there some type of appointment setting service? Or maybe you can hire your own appointment setter. Okay, but might be something worth considering. Another question is, do you give follow-up scripts? Do I have access to a CRM? Hey, if you don't have a CRM already, you want some type of CRM that's going to organize these leads. You're going to see all the data on them. They're going to be kept track of. They have automations in place. If the lead gen company you're working with does not have something like this, then are they going to help you set it up? Okay, because it's crucial. You need something like that. Most lead gen companies these days are using the CRM Go High Level, right? That's the one you can call from. That's the one I personally use. Shout out to Brent Attaway CRMX. It's the one I'm using right now. I know there's other ones that are great, but yeah, you want some type of CRM. Okay, another question. Where are you getting the leads? Is it just Facebook? Okay, are you using Google, SEO, search engine optimization? There are a bunch of different ways you can get the leads. Okay, but how are you actually getting the leads? Okay, and it might be useful to know if they're just getting Facebook leads. I've worked with a lot of guys getting Facebook leads. Typically, these are the most low quality leads. Okay, they can be good. Okay, but typically lower quality and more leads. You have to dial through a lot of them. Okay, so you might want to consider, hey, are you getting leads from YouTube? Or are you getting leads from these other sources? Because they'll most likely be a little higher quality from multiple sources, not just one or two, right? And what type of marketing are you doing? Hey, do you verify credits? Do you confirm that they're homeowners? I was shocked when I started doing online leads how many people called. They sounded super interested, would get their address, be like, oh, by the way, I don't own the place. Oh, by the way, this is an apartment. You guys do apartments. It's like some like some things that you think would be insanely obvious. These people were filling out forms thinking they could get solar on their apartment complex. It's like, no, you got to own the home. Okay. Oh, my credit's like at 400. Is that a problem? Okay. So see if you can figure out a way to verify some of these no-brainer things, because you don't want to be wasting time calling unqualified leads too, right? So make sure they are somewhat qualified leads. Hey, and then just general credibility, right? Who has worked with you that I can talk to? How long you've been doing this? Have you done leads in my markets? All right. Some of these people, they're doing leads maybe where solar's pretty untapped, maybe a state in the East or whatever, and they're getting quick leads, they're getting cheap leads. But I'm in California. Okay. Depending on where you're at, you may be in somewhere that's super competitive for leads. In San Diego, where I'm at, everyone and their dog is posting ads about solar. Everyone's trying to, we're in like the mecca of solar right here, right? So if I talk to someone that's like, oh, I'm getting leads for $1, I'm calling BS on that. Okay. This is San Diego. This is not Wyoming. This is not Rhode Island. Okay. I think they're cheaper there, I would assume. Okay. But Make sure they have experience getting leads in your market. All right. And then, are my leads exclusive? Okay, solar exclusive. That's probably why they have that name. Okay, because they give exclusive leads only to you. Some of these lead gen companies, they will circulate, they will send a lead to like 10 different people, and it's getting hit up. One person's getting hit up by 10 people. Yeah, not ideal, extremely tough to convert those types of leads. Okay, so those are just a few questions I thought of. Okay, online leads can be great. I think it's a good thing to supplement your door knocking. Just do it wisely. Okay, and if you are trying to build a hardcore like team of setters, closers, it can be tough. Okay, so you may want to go full force in that. I haven't seen too many people that's trying to do a combination. It generally doesn't work out as great. So I would suggest leads if you are just doing self-gen deals, knocking your own doors, not running a bunch of appointments from people on your team. Then online leads, I would definitely look into it. But if you have a big team, if you're running like setter closer leads, if you've got people concentrated in one area working and you know it's going to be a problem to have to drive to different parts, then you may want to consider not doing it. So that's the verdict. That's my take on it. Hope those questions helped. If you are thinking of hiring someone to do online leads for you, you can learn yourself too. I've done some of my own online ads, online leads, and it is tough. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot to manage. Okay, so just remember, is it worth putting in the work when maybe I could get someone else to do that when I'm an expert in my case, or when they're an expert rather. In my case, it made more sense to hire other people. I just got burned out. It's a lot to manage doing it all by yourself, and also manage a team, and also close, and also have a family, all the other stuff we do in solar. You can only do so much. Okay, so don't forget, we got Garrett Mendelson. This guy's a pro. If you want to hear more about, even if you're not into the online lead stuff, this guy closes like a madman. He closes on the phone, and he's got some cool competition software too that he's launching for solar teams. It's like a Twitch gaming platform, but for solar. Super unique. So make sure you don't miss out on that episode. We're going to be dropping some exciting episodes. We've got some great future guests. Thank you for the support of the podcast, and thank you for your patience when we have mistakes occasionally on the show. Hopefully you'll keep tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one.